Hello, true duelists. It's YGO Strat's Yu-Gi-Oh! Single Card History, where I'm going to be talking about some of the cards that impacted Yu-Gi-Oh! Throughout the years, and some of the other ones that just did not. Today's card, one of the earliest boss monsters in the entirety of the game, and kinda one of the worst. It's Gate Guardian. Gate Guardian was first released in Metal Raiders in 2002 as a secret rare. Oh yeah, one of two secret rares in the second ever set in the entirety of the game. This is an oldie. It's received a number of reprints over the years, including a rare printing in Dark Legends in 2006, an ultra rare print in Retro Pack in 2008, the coveted Peasant rare in Joey's World, Mega Pack 2014, and an affordable secret rare printing in the Speed Duel GX Midterm Paradox box in 2022. And most recently, as I make this video, it got another rare printing in Maze of Memories in 2023. You already know that this card's never been on the ban list. This is fucking Gate Guardian, a level 11 Dark Attribute Warrior type monster with 3750 attack and 3400 defense. Its effect reads: cannot be normal summoned or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by tributing one Sanga of the Thunder, Kazejin, and Suijin. Yes, this is one of the few effect monsters in the game that does not have an effect. It's not a non-effect monster though, and it's not a normal monster. It is an effect monster. It just doesn't have an effect, because that right there is not an effect, it's a summoning condition. In all honesty, it's a pretty simple single card history, because the card has no history to its name whatsoever as far as I'm concerned, or at least as I'm making this video. Quite literally, according to Yu-Gi-Oh! TopDeck.com, this card has appeared in 2 recorded decks to ever top. One of them is a meme input deck that played a total of 15 cards in the main deck, and the other is a Chain Strike deck from 2006, which does seem to be a fairly standard chain burn deck for its time. It's just playing Gate Guardian in the side deck. I've looked online, I can't find anything to resolutely confirm or deny this, whether or not it was an actual list that was played or not, so I can't guarantee that this isn't more trolling like the other recorded Gaga deck with Gate Guardian and 14 other cards. But if Gate Guardian was ever going to appear in a topping deck list prior to the new support, it would be purely as a memed in side deck card, where there is a 0% chance you could ever draw into it and lose the duel. And that's for the simple reason that the card doesn't do anything. Look, I get it. It was hype as fuck in terms of being a boss monster in the anime.
Gate Guardian! It's in the class of Exodia.
And it looked so damn cool, but so did everything from that damn maze duel, and not a single aspect of that duel was based in anything that could remotely resemble the actual card game. So I don't say it's bad out of malice, just out of the truth of the fact at hand. Gate Guardian's 3 materials are all better than Gate Guardian, and for a number of reasons. First of all, each of the pieces is much easier to summon. Sanga of the Thunder, Kazejin, and Suijin are all level 7 monsters with no summoning conditions. This is still a pain in the ass in all honesty, because in conventional dueling this means that they require 2 tributes to summon them out, but they can be revived from the graveyard or from the banished zone, or even summoned from the hand through other cards' effects to help cheat them out. That right there will make them a million times more playable, because they at least can have a use by themselves. They also have effects. Matter of fact, they all have the same effect, word for word, and that is once while face up on the field during damage calculation in your opponent's turn, if this card is being attacked, quick effect, you can target the attacking monster, make that target's attack 0 during damage calculation only, which in all honesty is a pretty weak effect, but these were all printed in 2002. Suijin and Sanga of the Thunder are better summons than Dark Magician by the virtue of being able to do at least one thing once and requiring the exact same things to set up and summon. And Sanga even has more attack than Dark Magician, so it beats it out. The problem is this effect only activates when they're being attacked, so you can't even meaningfully out a problem monster on the opponent's field yourself using them. You just have to hope the opponent doesn't read them and also forgets the effect each and every time they declare an attack. And you know, it's only once while face up, so not even once per turn, couldn't even give us that. They were never really worth playing, and none of them have ever been in a topping deck from what I've been able to find, which is kind of funny considering there is one top with Gate Guardian. But still, even if they were playable, Well, only Sangha would be in my opinion, since these are functionally the same card printed 3 times, but at least Sangha the Thunder has the most attack. Which I bring up to say that these 3 pieces, which at least can be summoned with ease and at least do something once, were never even in contention of seeing play in any competitive sense. So now back to Gate Guardian. Not only does it do nothing, it requires you to find and summon 3 of its pieces and have it in the hand. And these 4 cards have no fucking synergy whatsoever. Yeah, they're level 7. That's the common theme between the pieces. And that's it. You have a Light Thunder monster, a Wind Spellcaster, a Water Aqua, and a level 11 Dark Warrior. Nothing searches these cards with the exception of things like Small World, a card printed in 2022. What are you gonna do? Play the world's worst Mutt deck conceived? Play Batteryman Solar to send Sangha to the grave? And then Magician Soul to send Kazajan? And then Foolish Burial Goods, a copy of Ice Barrier to send Suijin? And then make an Isold to search out Gate Guardian? And then wait a turn and somehow summon back all 3 of its pieces to pull it out? Sure, Magician Soul is a splashable card, I'll give you that. But Thunder and Water do not mix, literally and in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's using the cards available to us now in 2023 and 2022 and earlier. On release, there was none of that. You just had to raw dog this shit and hope that it all worked out. And if you ever played this card, or more accurately tried to play it, you'll know firsthand that it does not work out 99 times out of 100. But to make it even better, even on the off chance that you got the 100th try, the one that worked out, this thing is worse than the God cards, which is saying something because those are also unplayable. It has no protection. You can jump through all the hoops and the hurdles in the world to find and summon this thing out, declare an attack, eat a Sakuretsu armor, and then go home from locals defeated and alone. That is the end result of playing Gate Guardian. Bottomless Trap Hole, Torrential Tribute, Fiendish Chain to have it stuck on the field mocking you because what effect's being negated, and worst of all, your opponent could just chain Compulsory Evacuation Device to put it back in your hand. Can you imagine? I would retire from this game. I briefly recall Gate Guardian Pendulum being a thing when pendulums were first revealed, but only ever as a YouTuber hype type of deck, never as anything truly viable. And that was the state of this son of a bitch for the first 21 years we had it. A cool anime moment immortalized as an unsummonable beatstick. But as time marches endlessly on, so too does Konami's milking of DM cards to make archetypes to sell as nostalgia bait. And at long last, Gate Guardian has got its turn. For a long time, people made fan support some ideas, including making an Xyz monster needing the 3 of them as material, but Konami saw fit to do the obvious thing for Gate Guardian support: fusion monsters. It sells better to the Yugi boomers and it makes more sense. In all honesty, this is literally a combination of its 3 pieces. The Xyz would have looked cooler, but thematically, fusion was the right play. And thus Gate Guardian combined came into play. A fusion retrain needing the same materials as Gate Guardian, but able to contact fuse to summon itself by banishing the pieces from the field or graveyard or even hand. It took the hardest part of summoning Gate Guardian, getting the pieces onto the field, and just said, fuck it, let them summon it from anywhere. And that's how you know that they care. The support ended up using a Crystal Beast style of support, so to say, to help get around the trouble of summoning the 3 components, and has a lot of means to put them into the Spell and Trap Zone as continuous spells, where they can then be used as material for the fusion summon, which is a touch random, but practically speaking, makes it way easier to access the pieces. Even better is the fact that they gave the deck fusions of any combination of just 2 of the pieces. Keeping in theme for the deck, the attack and defense of all fusions is equal to the combined attack and defense of its 2 parts, or 3 parts for Gate Guardian specifically, combined and then divided by 2, which follows the trend of the original, but I will never not complain about not a single fusion monster in this deck being stronger than Sangha, except for the big 3 of. Just give him like 300 plus attack or something and make him a little bit better, please. Still, these meant that having only 2 of the pieces available is never a bad thing or just a bricked up scenario. There's always something that they can go into, be it a search, a chance to lower a monster's attacks and clear the field, and even negate spell or traps from the opponent. It's worth noting that each fusion has Gate Guardian in its name, which is where the OG makes its way into the new support. The fusion, Gate Guardians combined, can float into any level 11 or lower Gate Guardian from the main or extra deck if it leaves the field by an opponent's card, which means it can float into the original if you decide you want to play it. The problem is, it's still just Gate Guardian. And even worse still, this only summons from the the deck, which means Gate Guardian is a hard garnet in its own deck. If you ever draw it, it's useless. And it will be competing with the 3 solid fusion monsters with modern effects that can also float into the pieces to summon out the big Gate Guardian fusion again. So sadly, not even in modern Gate Guardian support were they able to make Gate Guardian itself truly playable. Because at the end of the day, no matter what, this is nothing more than a beat stick that's hard to summon. But at the very least, you can play it. And I'm sure swinging for game with the original Gate Guardian is about as satisfying as it gets. Especially if you're blinged out of your mind and have that like Metal Raider secret rare, that's a flex fact. Overall, Gate Guardian is a bad card. It's an overly complicated to summon monster that doesn't do anything beyond be a beat stick, which is something that a card like Blue Eyes has been able to do since day one, but Blue Eyes is far easier to summon, even if you're playing back in 2002. There's not enough monsters in the game with more than 3,000 attack to even begin to merit summoning out the original Gatekeeper of Yu-Gi-Oh! Here, but it's also a showcasing of the other side of Yu-Gi-Oh! The community, and the love for collections and the anime in general. For how terrible this card is, it's still a beloved one, and it was a boss of bosses in the anime.
It's in the class of Exodia.
And it looks cool as shit, even if it's not good. People have wanted to be able to summon it, if only as part of the schoolyard dream to make it playable. And despite only being from one duel in the original anime, it's one of the more iconic monsters from it, to the point where even I am excited by the prospect of playable Gate Guardian as a deck. Because, good or bad, playable or not, it's fucking Gate Guardian. Of course we want to play it. And so, that's our look at Yu-Gi-Oh! Single card history, Gate Guardian. Stay tuned for our next video, and feel free to suggest some cards to review or what type of video you'd like to see. Don't forget to like, and as always, subscribe to YGO Strats to impress your smokin' Italian wife, and so that you too can become a true duelist.